4 minutes to the top of the hour. A lot of feedback on social media on this interview. My discussion with Professor Gen-Zs Wajackoya. I continue using the hashtag NewsHour. We'll try and sample some of them before the end of the newscast. We had asked you earlier, what do you want to ask him? And some of you said questions. We are incorporating them in this discussion. Prof, let me finish this discussion. You said that the president doesn't care to call you and sit with you. Why would you care? Who seeks who in this case? Why must you wait for the president if you have ideas? Because the president has said, if you have ideas that can help this nation, why don't you share with us?
How can I share my ideas with Ruto?
Kenya is your country.
Am I crazy?
No, but Kenya is your country.
Does he listen?
But he asked for the ideas. Have you tried?
He has people like Farouk with him. They can advise him. Thank you.
No, but he's asking as opposition leaders.
Kenyans can go and give information to him. I can give myself, it's not a must that I have to look for Ruto to give him information. I am planning to be the next president of this country. I am busy, my diary is busy. I have no business looking for Ruto. For what? If he calls me, I'll go and see him. He is the president. But I'm not going to put myself there to, at nataka kukuona, unaenda kukaa hapo napangwa. Mnapangwa vile wanaume wanapangwa State House kwa stairs, wewe simama hapa. Hey, Professor Wajackoya is a professor, is a lawyer of very high standing, and I'm highly respected within the legal fraternity. I am not going to really reduce myself into rubble. But if the president wants me the way Raila Odinga called me, the way Kalonzo calls me, I will sit with him. I will have tea with him. But I'm not going to look for him. I am not desperate.
One of the things you said tonight is that they were looking for you because probably they wanted, you didn't listen to them. How, you don't listen to people who could potentially tell you the president is looking for you?
How can people with crooked characters come and look for me? Why can't Ruto just pick up the phone and say, hey, Professor, how are you? I'm fine, Your Excellency.
Where are you?
Where are you? I'm here. Then I have to validate whether he's the one or not. And then we can make arrangements.
We have to call you on FaceTime to validate.
If presidents of other countries call me, my friend, I'm highly respected also by presidents of other countries. They call me, I call them. I represent some of them.
I know.
So what's the big deal?
I know, right across.
Even if Pope wa Roma akinipigia simu utawaambia hapana, acha kwanza bangi ishe ndio nikuje.
Hii maneno ya bangi bado iko.
Si bangi ni mmea. Can you denounce what God...
Inaisha wapi?
Yeah?
What did you mean when you say isha?
Go and read Genesis 1 verse 29.
No, tell me, Prof.
That's a commodity for industrial purpose and medicinal value, not for smoking. Those who want to smoke can do it. It's being smoked anyway. But I'm talking of industrialization of the weed economy, which has made Canada, Taiwan, and even Thailand to make it compulsory that if a child is born today, he must be given a seed to plant. The medicinal value, the economic value, that's what we are looking at. Okay. 2 years ago, Canada got $486 billion US after harvesting. All the drones you see, the drones, aeroplanes, manufacturing stuff that comes from fiber, is from weed. But here, because of some biblical-oriented pastors who come out, they condemn you, wanasema huyo mtu kichwa yake sio mzuri nini? Mtu ya bangi. So, I'm talking of some little research to be done so that we can grow this thing, sell it, and remove ourselves from deep debt. Okay.
Let's leave the issue of the president inviting you and calling you and you saying, and it's a good thing you're saying you respect, because at the end of the day, he's our president. Yes. Let me talk about something else. I'm not talking about party, but individuals. Kalonzo Musyoka has claimed this position, seeming, nature abhors vacuum. Seemingly, he's claimed the position of the opposition leader. Now that Raila Odinga has said he's limiting his activities in the local political scene. Where are you left? He's already taken. This thing is gone. Just like the election.
I respect Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka on a serious note. He's a leader with very high virtues. But at the same time, also have to remind him that being a lawyer, you have a mutual responsibility, a consensus responsibility. Your moral turpitude should be of the highest level under any circumstances. And I remember when I went to teach at Nairobi University as a guest lecturer, Kalonzo was one of my students on that particular day. I hope he had heard me very clearly. What does the Constitution say about the opposition office? Was indeed chairing the recent talks in Parliament, where they came up with a proposal which was supposed to be tabled in Parliament to create an office of the opposition leader. Why couldn't he have followed that particular format? And knowing that even if that was the case, with the illegalities that were going to be coupled with, somebody ought to have gone to court if that was legislated and passed through the bill in Parliament, to say that that was violative of the Constitution, because the creation of an office of the Prime Minister requires consensus through a referendum. Now, if Kalonzo can come up, if Kalonzo can come up and call himself the opposition leader, maybe he has some kind of legal framework that I need to understand, because he's a senior counsel by profession, and I'm a professor by academic, doing my second PhD. So we can now do a variation. Senior counsel by experience, talking about legalities and illegalities of the Constitution. And an academic like myself, talking about the eventualities of illegalities and the prospective illegalities of what Kalonzo has said. He can say it, I will take it over. But if he says he's taking it, even Raila himself, I've spoken to Raila at length initially. Raila was the leader of the majority in the opposition in Parliament, though he was not in Parliament. That one, equitably speaking,
you say majority?
Yeah, he was the leader of the opposition who...
Or the opposition majority in Parliament. Okay.
Even though he was not a member of Parliament himself. Yes, we could equitably say that equity requires clean hands. And therefore, Raila could come up and say, yes, I'm the leader of the opposition because the opposition have more MPs in the opposition side. Yes. So that's okay. But if Kalonzo has surpassed that digit of having more MPs than Raila to call himself opposition leader, so it be. But if he has invited himself illegally, then let's meet at the debe. Wacha kae na hiyo, na mimi tukutane naye kwa debe.
Debe ya 2027?
Yes.
So you are ceding this space which you have claimed? Because Kalonzo has claimed
Kalonzo has not run for president. Wajackoya has run for president. From 54 men and women, Wajackoya was number 3.
Kalonzo has run for president.
Mwaka gani?
During Kibaki's time, when he pitied katikati.
Alipata kura ngapi?
No, but he ran for president. I can't remember. I can't remember, but he ran
Then if he ran for president, he ought to know better, not to claim himself to be an opposition leader.
But that
without consensus from other political leaders. Yeah.
And that is what you're calling. You're saying you will listen to the deliberations and the consultations before you decide what to do. Is that what you meant at the beginning of the show?
Well, I said that bearing in mind that I will also be obeying the Constitution, looking at the law and following the merit of the law as it is, not as it was.
Okay. The Gen-Z was a big thing. Is this phenomena done with? Is the noise, in quotes, is it silent or it's brewing? I had guests in studio who said it's the moment of lull, but there'll be storm.
I cannot answer for them, but what I know is that Gen-Z is going nowhere. He's still there. Is going somewhere, I'm sorry. They are still there. Whoever they are, they have done a good thing to make some people wake up. And I support them. And my support for Gen-Z is not that one where people now come to take advantage or to support you. Me, I have not been a minister. Neither have I been a women rep because I never changed my sexuality. Neither have I been an MCA. But if you find out people who are now agitating to speak for Gen-Zs, some of them were cabinet secretaries for many years. Some of them were even vice presidents. They never even used to look at the plight of these young men. Now it has just become all of a sudden, sisi tunaenda kuongea na Gen-Z. Unaenda kuongea na,
It's fashionable to talk to
Gen-Z.
I don't say the same matter, they say, we kwenda huko.
Wasn't I demonstrating with these guys, using my own money, flying from here to this, to that? Because I support them. I support them. If you come to my office, my law firm, the people who work with me are all Gen-Zs.
Are they the future of this country?
Yes.
And how?
Yes.
And how?
Well, look at them and what they have done. Didn't they make Ruto and Duale to sign a declaration to bring army men on the street? It is not a joke, my friend. So let nobody underestimate that or take advantage of them and drink their blood and then come here and tell us that sasa imekwisha. Haijaisha. Wacha tushikwe, tufanywe nini, lakini Gen-Z is there to stay. But the best part that Ruto can do, if he wants me to advise him, is to speak to these boys directly. Is to do what, not saying nimefanya vile wametaka alafu naenda kuchukua vikongwe unaleta kwa cabinet. What with questionable characters. At sasa hao ndio ministers. Ministers ya nini? Mtu amekuwa AACC na makosa mingi namna hii. All of a sudden hiyo imelala. Tutapeleka hii watu kotini. Time will come when these people will run nowhere. Wacha wakule tu sahi na evidence will be piling up. Mobutu Sese Seko, what did he do? If you look at dictators and tyrants around the world, where are they? We live once, but you have to live carefully. If Ruto wants to move on well, healthy, let him call people, sit down with them down and say, what do you want? If they tell him go home, pack and go. Let us be civilized, not to go and kill some of these boys like they have been killed. Go to the mortuary. I was in the mortuary the other day, city mortuary. They are headless, vichwa huko. Mpaka ukiingia huko natoka kama umeshiba hewa. Nobody's caring about this. At compensation, at to compensate. How do you, as a parent, ambao umefanya kazi ya mkokoteni, umesomesha mtoto paka university, mtoto ametoka pale anaambiwa tu kuna kazi ya kwenda ya ujenzi, watoto watakuwa wakifanya hiyo vitu ya affordable housing. Alafu mtoto anasema no, anaenda kusema the system is bad. Unaua hiyo mtoto, you don't care, alafu mwingine anasema let them be compensated. How?
They will all be accounted.
Come on, they will be. Hata mimi saizi nikienda wapi, I'm so happy because evidence is piling. They will not run and hide. Wacha wafanye vile wanataka, sijui nini, tupeane hii minister, tukate hapa, hii kabila hii.
Will it work? Because that's...
It will not work. It has failed. It has failed.
How? It's just 2 weeks.
Mimi nimekuwa ulimwengu hii, my friend. Nimekuwa chokora, grave digger. Nimekuwa mtu ya namna hii. I've lived in the streets of London. I've seen it all. But what I've seen in Kenya, look at what happened in Bangladesh. So alienda. Look at Museveni coming here to abuse people. A whole president breaking protocol to speak about Bobi Wine. The world is gone crazy. But you can never be a president for more than 40, 50 years. You go to hell.
You can't.
Utachinjwa. So better prepare the nation. Better speak to your nation. Do what your nation wants. Otherwise, you will end up bad and your family. We have people like Mobutu Sese Seko. Where are they? Unajenga kila kitu, una grab, uwezi kushiba. Unakula tu, kula tu ni kama vile Diba alikuwa akisema. Paka hakuna hewa kwa tumbo ya kuweka hii.
Ya kunywa maji.
Alafu ati sasa ama minister. Na umeiba. Magazeti imesema that you had appropriated 1.2 billion. You are facing investigation. Hiyo kesi imeenda wapi? Hailali. I'm so bitter. I'm sorry. Next question.
The lull before the storm, the Gen-Z, one of the things that they really advocated for is the dissolution of the cabinet and the fact that more than half of that cabinet is back.
You have just answered the question. Then what is the point of dissolving the cabinet?
I sat with Alfred Mutua here, doctor, and he said they were not against individuals.
That is his opinion. That's his opinion. When somebody is wearing a watch of 20 million, I was at a graduation ceremony in Kakamega at Masinde Muliro University, and this is something that the chancellor of that university will have to answer. The sooner the better. They have invited me. I've gone there as an academic. They have gone me. Alafu a person without a PhD because he's a minister, ameitwa kuja kupeana ma PhD. Alafu pale akikaa ni kuonyesha masaa na kufanya hivi, anafutwa kazi tena anarudishwa. Where are we going?
But you have a very expensive, or because you're not a public officer.
No, these things, if you know how I got them, maybe my children will come here and tell you how they love their daddy, and I have no control over my children because I've worked hard with them. My kids, when they bring me presents, I will proudly wear
That's
them.
a present from your child?
Yeah. Don't you have children who give you presents?
So because, no, they are very little. So, so because it was a present, but you're wearing it.
Yes, because I'm proud of my children. I've worked hard with them. I was digging graves when they were going to school in London. They have worked hard, they have graduated, they're not going to build people's affordable houses. They're working.
But if you can appreciate your children like that, we need to, people appreciate their friends who can give them private jets also, 200 million.
Yeah, and then you're found with 200 million in Dubai.
That was Hawks.
Well, let them explain to the local Mwananchi.
How it was?
Yeah, how it was. The country the country sucks. Look at the trade union. Look at our trade union. Look at the workers. Same fellows. I'm not going to mention their names. Wewe umekuwa namna hiyo tangu tuwe namna hii mpaka saa hii mpaka pale. Wewe ndio mkubwa ya wafanyikazi. You can't give room for a young man to go and be.
No, but this is a democratic process. If you are elected.
Elected or selected?
Whichever, but you're there.
In Kenya, everything happens.
Prof, as we close the show tonight, what is your outlook of this country? We have a broad-based, something called a broad-based government. It's not in the constitution, it's not in any legislation, it's not in any statute, but we have a broad-based government. There is hope that this is the vehicle that will carry this country to the next level. Are we optimistic right now? Are you optimistic that this country will move forward?
I don't usually comment on issues that are illegal. I don't want to make an illegality into legality. You have just said broad-based government is not within the constitution. That's an illegality. So how can I justify it by making it legal?
I'm not asking you to justify, but I'm asking you to focus as someone who is interested in leading this country. I bet you'll do the same. If we are protagonists and you win and you need to extend your hand here, you'll tell me, Ken, where vuka nikupatie ka ministry hapo?
I think I'll put more people in jail than any other president in the world. By the law. In China, they hang you when you steal. But they come here and corrupt you. In China, we don't have corruption. Because the moment you are caught, unapelekwa kotini and you are hanged. But the Chinese come here and they take place in bribery. Well, I'm not a saint, will never be, has never been. I don't intend to be, because I'm sure if I die today, maybe I'll be the first one to be...
To go to hell.
To go to hell. Because where we are, the president, if he's listening and looking at me, you should stop abductions. You should release all those people you have arrested. You should come out and tell the nation why you are doing this. If at all these people elected you, they did not elect you to harass them. They did not elect you to have illegal arrests by the police, hooded, dumping people's children in cars, and making disappearances. That's all that I can say.
Finally, before we play the video of the week, the president presided over the NYS Pass Out Parade this week, and what caught Kenyans' attention was the fact that he's proposing that it be incorporated in their training curriculum, basic firearm training. Where is this headed, Wajackoya?
I can only believe in that statement if it comes from the rule of law. If Parliament sits, they legislate, people go for a referendum. Because remember that a firearm is a dangerous weapon. And a firearm is a dangerous weapon meant for particular protection purposes and highly regulated. So if that is for national security, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. But it should come through the...
It should go through Parliament.
The Parliament.
We're coming back with our last question to Professor George Wajackoya. But let's play the video of the week. Because this week, there's a big event in town. The first time so many heads of states and government assembled at State House in Nairobi. And one of them was former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo. Now, you thought Olusegun Obasanjo was shot. He's not. Take a look at our video of the week.
I am not as short as you think I am.
All right, one of the aides there tried to add some height to the former president, who, by the way, is championing Raila's election as the chairperson of the Africa Union Commission from that other end, and he's not as short. All right, Prof, finally, as I let you go, the economy of the country is also a big issue. Kenyans are not doing so well. And as people celebrate the homecoming parties, there are Kenyans who, that will be their last meal. There are Kenyans who can put meals on the table. Teachers are on strike today. The doctors have announced a strike. Civil servants haven't been paid. The county governments are yet to receive their remittance. I mean, it's chaos all over the country. But people are celebrating. Hundreds of millions of shillings are being burned on the road, on air, for the 4-day trip, the president in Nyanza, the Luo Nyanza region. Can we fix this economy?
Yes.
Will the president fix this economy?
No.
How long do we have to wait? 3 years. 3 years. Next year, by the time this government settles, we'll be beginning a third year. Then we have 25, 26, 27 is an election year. Will we ever see work in this government, especially with the direction it's taking right now?
The answer is no.
So what happens? Give us some hope. Tell us some hope.
Let me become the president. That's the only way out.
We have to wait for you for 3 years,
Yes.
for you to sort us out.
Yes.
So in the meantime, we die.
The country is rotten, is gone, corruption has taken over, people are doing what they're doing. How would we go about and turn it? Let's wait, let's die for 20 years and have a president who will come in and look at Burkina Faso today. Look at the president, Traore.
36-year-old.
Yeah, look at what's happening. It's the fourth most developing country today in Africa. From rubbish, from ashes, because the president is committed. He has even refused to be drawn into the so-called gazellas and what have you. Look at the cars the presidential motorcade
Armored
has.
personnel carriers from, that's what he uses. The one he was using when he was a military.
Yes, angalia sahi, ukiona president kama the whole world is moving. Look at the UK, go to develop, hata enda hapa tu nchi zingine kama Rwanda. Kagame, look at Kagame, look at where Kagame is. Look at Kagame's motorcade.
He's being driven in one of the most luxurious Range Rovers I know, a stretch.
Yeah, but how many of them? Here you get 40 vehicles chasing one man. Umeiba. Come on. Magari 50 na kukimbiza. Ingine namna hii, watu wengine wanakimbia na makoti hivi wanaanguka. Did you see me security at bodyguard? India upuzi hatutaki.
But he's president. So if you're president, you'd want the same trapping.
There was a president in one of the Latin American countries.
Yes.
He used to have a Volkswagen.
Yes, and a tractor and a dog.
And a tractor and a dog. Is he not still being emulated? Go to the Prime Minister of India. Look at what's happening.
Narendra.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Your parting shot for Kenyans. That's your camera.
I'm so happy, Kenyans, that I'm preparing. This time, mujiandikishe kwa wingi, and just join Roots Party by dialing *509#. Ingia na usimame kura, tuhesabu kura nyingi ndio you guys will be liberated. Lakini mambo sijui opposition leaders, sijui nini, watu kwenda kuchoma nywele huko nje wakianza kujionyesha, wachaneni na watu. Asante.
Do you think Gen-Z like you, Prof?
I cannot say for them.
No, do you think they like you?
Maybe they
How
don't
do they
like
receive
me.
you?
No, I don't even know them. They are faceless, they are tribeless. But I like the ideas.
All right, as I let Prof go and as we leave, I'd like to leave you with this story because the president continues his trip. Tonight, he met a lot of those leaders in Nyanza region. So President William Ruto received a grand reception in Azimio leader Raila Odinga's Nyanza backyard yesterday after